Alrighty, my peoples. This is another edition of Good People Podcast, sponsored by Social Good Made Easy. I am with my girl, Traci Kalamajka. Did I pronounce it right, girl, or I jacked it up?
Close enough.
No, we got to get it right. Say it again one time.
Kalamajka.
Okay, Traci Kalamajka. That's right. You better get her name correct, Cleveland. All right, my girl, Traci, we go back like since kindergarten. Like, not really, but we going to pretend. So, tell people in the audience, tell in 110 characters, who is Traci?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I am a girl. It's a girl. I am a digital marketer. I am a mom. I am an abolitionist.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a proud owner of 2 dogs.
Oh, 2 dogs. Okay, no cats?
No cats.
Okay. And another set of 110 characters. Tell us what you've been up to when you're not at work.
I like to run. I read a lot.
Okay.
I like to cook. And I try to fight human trafficking with every spare minute I got.
Okay. All right. So you kind of went ahead of us with our questions. So with the human trafficking kind of thing, I'm assuming you're help fighting that cause with a specific nonprofit. So you want to give a shout out to that real quick?
Yeah, I work with the Imagine Foundation out of Cleveland, Ohio. It's imaginefreedom.org.
Okay, Imagine Foundation. Okay. How did you get caught up with that?
So I believe when you and I worked at another company, a friend of a friend started it up, and I started hearing about some of the work that they were doing, and just being around it, and donating a little time here or there, and then really became active in the last couple of years.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to pause because the same I think is not recording. So
okay.
Hold on 1 second.
You can do what you need to do to play back.
Nope, it's recorded. It's just lying to me. All right, sorry about that, my peoples. We kind of ghetto over here, but we working on it. Okay, all right, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, continue with your story. So
yeah, when the last company I worked at, it was a friend of a friend who started the organization, and I was familiar with it, and little bit by little bit over the last few years, became more and more involved. So
okay, all right, wow. So I'm going to jump ahead with my questions. Usually I ask my people, tell me about first sight. So you said you knew it was a colleague that started the organization. What was it, that moment that really changed your interest from just being like, oh, that's cool, to, okay, I'm going to give up some of my time with my family or some of my personal time. So share a little bit about that.
So for me personally, it's a very personal thing. I grew up in a household that was really abusive and kind of felt trapped as a kid.
Okay.
So trafficking victims, many are children, lots are women, and some are men. But they're in a situation that they really can't get out of, and they just, some want to and want help. So I think I identify with, being trapped in a situation that, you'd like to escape, but you just need someone to help you out. So for me, it was a really personal thing to get involved when I could actually kind of, face my own demons and then kind of use that to help other people.
Okay, interesting. So maybe you can shed a little light on like some of the ways that you help, because someone might be listening, they'd be like, okay, that's cool. Obviously you had a pain stem from this. Not everybody can relate in that manner, but share it with people how they can actually help, not if it's not necessary from Imagine, or a similar situation with human trafficking and stuff like that. Because that do sound like news stuff. That do sometimes sound like it's distance. It's like one of those, oh, that's a sucky social issues, but I got my own personal problems going on. So
Yeah.
how can people can feel like they can help, even though this problem might seem distance for them?
There's a lot of little ways. Some of the things we do, like there are like bigger programs or bigger efforts, but honestly, you can fight human trafficking every day with tiny little decisions. So, There's a California Transparency Act that
Mm-hmm.
companies are required, if they do business in California, to disclose what they're doing around forced labor and
Oh.
slave labor. So there's a lot of great companies out there. For me, I love Levi's jeans anyway. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Not endorsing, but their entire supply chain is slavery free. So none
Okay.
of the goods come from forced labor or child labor, none of the manufacturing. One of the easiest ways is to buy American. And, you've
Yeah.
heard why you should buy American, for other reasons. But if the labor is happening in the United States and it's
Mm-hmm.
paid labor, then a really easy way is to just buy American goods, and you're ensuring that there aren't people in third world countries
Mm-hmm.
that are, being forced to work in like labor camps, or, forced to pay off like ridiculous amounts of debt to actually be hired for the company. So there's lots of little ways.
Okay.
Fair trade coffee, it costs a little bit more, but everybody drinks K cups, and Green Mountain coffee is all fair trade. So
Okay.
there's little things you can do, even if you're not quite ready, to go full blown with, jumping into the cause. There's little things that you can do every day with the way you spend your money
Okay.
that either,
Yeah.
kind of helps eliminate the trafficking footprint.
Well, that's good to know because I'm not quite ready to commit. I still like to enslave my kid brothers. Make them do some child labors,
Family doesn't
break some
count.
laws that way.
Family
I mean,
doesn't
these my
count.
kid brothers for a reason. I gotta boss them around somehow. This whole equal rights thing, I'm not so sure, but I like coffee, so I'll do that. But I'm gonna keep them as slaves for a minute. But
They're
but
indebted to their older sister.
no, but that's good. But I'm glad that you brought up the fair trade because I actually got a chance to learn about that like 2 weeks ago because there was actually an expo, a fair trade expo out in either I believe in Cleveland Heights area going on that they had workshops really try to teach people fair trade 101 and stuff like that and just really learning about where you're buying your products. Do you know the process in place to bring that product to your dinner table kind of thing?
Yeah,
And it kind
that's
of really reinforced that whole maybe we could share some of our spending towards local stores, or
yeah,
local shops, mom and pop shops, help them
yeah,
out a little bit versus going, on a highway real quick to get to a big box store. Nothing wrong with that. I understand you got to do it sometimes, but I
right.
get that. I get that. Okay.
But
So,
little things. Farmers markets are great ways to support like local farmers, and that the manufacturing and the harvesting of it is all happening like locally and with local money. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
every little bit helps.
Okay. Name off some farmers markets real quick so we can give them a shout out so people know where they can actually go out.
So close to me, we have Haymaker's Farmers Market in Kent.
Okay.
We've got the Munroe Falls. I can't remember the official name of their farmers market, but if you just Google farmers markets, like
Okay.
with the name of your city, there's plenty of like co-ops and farmers markets, where you can get some, and you do pay a little bit more, but you're supporting small businesses, and you know exactly where the agriculture is coming from. So, I wish I could afford to do it 100%. But like I said, every dollar that's
Hmm.
not spent, is spent local or spent with the local farmers does help. So,
Nice, nice. Yeah, I know in Lakewood we got the Leaf community.
yep,
They sometimes have farmers market out in front of the public library on Detroit, and then I know Shaker Heights got a farmers market. I know Tremont got a farmers market. So pretty much Google is your friend. Just Google farmers market, you will definitely find something. So and if people go to a farmers market because of this podcast, please buy me something to eat because I'm hungry. Okay.
I like apples.
You like apples. Okay, buy Tracy some apples. I want what do I want? I like greens. We gotta find a farmer's market that give us some turnip greens. I like that. All right. All right, let's see. The next question. Okay. All right, let's go to the next question. It is the underdog story. So, everybody has been the underdog once in a while. So, without being a boohoo story.
Hmm.
Share with the family a setback for a minute. You don't have to give us the nitty gritty because it's none of our business. But share us a setback for a minute that had you to had to take a break real quick look at your environment, or look at the situation at hand, and really understand the lesson that was being put in front of you, and just going about it and doing what you got to do. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, that's really relevant to everything that I'm doing and everything that's going on. For a long time, I harbored a lot of like, sadness and being upset over, kind of having a bad childhood.
Yeah.
But once I realized like that didn't have to shape my future, there's lots of possibilities that started opening up. I got my college degree. My parents weren't even high school educated.
Oh wow.
I have a really good job. I have great kids. And then this whole aspect of, helping people that are kind of in a situation where, I probably wanted help and couldn't get help. It
Mhm.
started to turn the light on. So I think, you know, I took something really negative in a situation that could have led to just all kinds of like bad problems, like drinking or drugs or just,
Mhm.
really bad self-destructive behavior, and found a way to make a positive out of it. So
Nice,
it's
nice.
kind of my boohoo story to the point where I don't know that I would change anything that happened to me because it shaped me into who I am now.
Yeah.
So everything for a reason kind of mentality.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing, because I think when we was working together, I would have never known that you had, So that's really good, and I like that you said that you have to learn your lessons pretty much through service, by helping others, kind of
Yep.
thing. That's, I mean, if anybody is listening, if you are having a shitty day, I mean, a F up, cluster F day, I'm telling you, if you literally do something nice, you don't have to necessarily go to a shelter, a food bank, or a shelter, or, I mean, it'd be great. Go there, volunteer, be awesome. Not to say don't, but if just doing something simple, just taking somebody out to lunch and they not expecting it, and you not asking for nothing in return, it really change up. I mean, it don't take the problem away, but it changes up the mood. You don't want to go hurt nobody, so therefore you don't go to jail. See, there's been many a times I have avoided the popo by doing something nice. Be like me. Not only am I a client, I'm the president of avoiding the popo. See, okay, okay. Let's. I gotta get to my questions. Okay, let's see. The next question. Next question. Okay, well, okay, you share some light about Imagine Foundation. Is there any other charities or grassroots groups that you are totally in love or admire? You could be helping them or not involved with them at all, but share it to the people with that.
Yeah, so I mean, my primary focus is kind of with this charity, and the human trafficking aspect. But I do try to support. I've got friends involved in other charities. I have a colleague who is trying to start an Akron Children's Museum.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'll donate and pitch in when I can there. Gosh, I have at least two or three really good friends who rescue dogs and cats. So, just trying to support people. You can spread yourself real thin, but just trying to, pick a few and focus and support others in what they do. It doesn't even need to be financially. It can be shares on Facebook. It can be like helping spread the word. And sometimes when they hit a rough patch with the work that they do, lending a shoulder to cry on, or an ear to listen to, but just trying to support my other friends who are out here,
Mhm.
doing good deeds, trying to do charitable work, and
Mhm.
they lend me the support in return. So it's a win-win for all of us.
Okay, okay. With all that said, I got two kind of questions. Hopefully, I remember both questions. The first question is, how important is it for for someone like you, whether they don't necessarily have to be an executive director of a charity, but they just like an average volunteer, right? They just
Hmm.
go in and do their hours to help out to push the cause. How is
Hmm.
it important for their network to actually share whenever they post something or whenever they mention anything about those events? Because a lot of times people, they do I mean, right now it's starting to gear up for the holiday, so people kind of expect to give money and stuff like charity. But a lot of times throughout the year, people kind of have a distance, you know. So
Yeah.
other than like money, really try to explain like why, like if somebody was like me that don't really care, it's like a
Hmm.
selfish little son of a bee. Why is it? Why should I be interested, or why should I like something on Facebook or retweet something or whatever, or even mention it to my friends? I'm not part of the
Right.
charity.
Right. So, it'd be great if we were all rich and we're philanthropists and can throw, millions of dollars to help whatever cause moved us.
Hmm.
But the reality is we all are on a budget and we all have to, kind of check and balance against the demands of like, regular life. So a big part of charity and a big part of some of the causes is just lack of awareness.
Hmm.
So every like to a public page on Facebook, your friends see that you liked it. Every tweet, every share brings awareness to your cause. To if it's just one person that sees it and didn't realize that there was a cause like that and is interested in it, you've just brought one more person to the manpower. So not
Okay.
everything is financial, and sometimes just social awareness can really bring things to light. I knew about the charity that I worked with for a long time, and only now is human trafficking kind of bubbling up to the surface because it's an uncomfortable subject and it's a taboo subject because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have the sex trafficking and you have the forced labor trafficking,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's an uncomfortable, dark, heavy, upsetting subject. And it's only now getting light. The president's talked about it. Governor Kasich has passed some bills around it. So it's only becoming now a little more commonplace and a little more comfortable to talk about it. So the more you spread your cause on social media, the more awareness you bring to it. And granted, there's some tactics. You can't constantly, post and tweet about, the cause unless you're running like their social media page.
Yeah.
Um, but there is a social media like expert out there in the world, Gary Vaynerchuk,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
he's
know.
talked about jab jab punch. So
Mhm.
you still want to engage your audience on social media with like other things or just lighter topics and conversations, but you want to kind of come in with that big statement every so often to like loop them in. So
Okay.
my social media page, my Facebook page and my Twitter, is a mix of like my personal life, but also like my charity work because
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
a huge part of my personal life. So it is really important. And if that's all you can do, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I actually saw that what actually made me thought about asking you to come on the podcast and talk to my peoples, because
Uh,
I actually saw one in your photos of you on a scooter just riding in the park. I was like, oh, that looked like fun, Not knowing,
yeah,
like you said, sometimes the focus that charities or the social issue that charities focus on is not very delightful.
right.
It's very, like you said, it's very dark. But as people are listening to our conversation, it don't have to be dark for you. I mean, just if people had known that y'all was riding in a park just for fundraising, that looked like fun. That just
Yeah,
looked like y'all was like at an amusement park kind of thing. So,
yeah,
people, if you're listening, even though these social issues are horrific and downright just painful, you can still shine some light. You can do some type of fun activity, and just the proceeds of that activity can help causes like that. Or you can just do this fun activity as a brand awareness to people, and just print out, go to the different charities website, print out their about page, and just have just printouts of their information at their event so people can just grab it. So, and also another thing, just go back to the fair trade. Just buy things that actually just supports human equality kind of thing. So I like that. I like that. Okay, okay. Oh, nice, nice. So I have a quick question for you.
sure.
So If you were given a chance to meet with anybody in the past, and you get a expense paid round trip across the world with this one person, and this person, all they have to do is just answer any question you have, who would that person be?
Oh, Helen, I wish I could have prepared for this one.
I know. That's why I said
From
bonus question.
past,
Yes, from the
present,
past.
past.
Yeah.
Hmm. Sojourner Truth.
Journal Truth? Okay. Why? Why? Why Journal?
Sojourner had the Underground Railroad and freed the slaves and tackled um, an impossible task,
Okay.
and got really no credit for it in her lifetime. But it wasn't her motivation. Her motivation was not being able to sleep because there was someone enslaved. So I think I would want to go back and meet her, like, and understand like her motivations and see the world through her eyes and live a life that amazing that your legacy has never died. So for
Okay.
me, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna let you be Sojourner Truth at all. So I'm gonna give you your props. Okay. Everybody tweet us at Social Good Made Easy. I'm gonna. You on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter.
Okay. I'm gonna find your Twitter handle, and I want y'all to tweet Traci and say, "Hey, you're kicking butt, girl. You're kicking some ass." Okay, she kicking some ass with this whole modern day slavery. Real quick, give a definition for those that don't understand modern day slavery, especially the difference between the different trafficking. You know, real quick, just a simple definition.
Modern day slavery is anybody who is trapped in a situation because of financial or physical restrictions that doesn't want to be there.
Okay.
So if you're financially trapped in the situation or you are physically constrained being in that situation, that is enslavement.
Okay. All right, people. We got our papers. We're our free peoples. All righty. Real quick, if you were to be able to talk to 13-year-old Traci, what advice would you give her?
Hang in there and keep going.
Again. All right, people. You heard it from Traci Kalamajka. I jacked it up. I could just tell you was looking at it. I jacked it up. Traci Kalamajka, right?
Yes.
There we go. Yes, you heard it here from Traci Kalamajka. To hang in there, peoples. Do not give up. You are strong, just as like my girl Traci here. Traci, you want to give some shout outs before we end this conversation for today?
Like to say thank you to my daughter Dominique, who is also an abolitionist and fights human trafficking by my side. She has since she was about 14, 15, but now that she's an adult, she's more involved, so it's great.
All right.
Hey, Jesse Bach, who is the CEO of the Imagine Foundation, so imaginefreedom.org. Look for the green hand on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
The Imagine Foundation with the green palm print. Dave Noyes, who is the one who got me involved.
What? It was Dave that got
It
you?
was Dave.
Dave is a troublemaker. I knew it.
So Dave is the treasurer on the board of directors for the Imagine Foundation. So the Imagine Foundation follows and toes the line because they are a 501 registered charity. So they have a board of directors. They account for every penny. Dave's the treasurer. So yes, it is very tight buttoned up. So he's actually the one that introduced me to the Imagine Foundation when it just started, and kind of hung in there through the years and got really more involved over the last couple. So it's been a good ride, but those are my shout outs.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you shout out to your girl Dominique. I'm glad you raising a kick butt girl. That's right.
Kick butt girl.
All right, people. That's it for today. You've been given some information. Go make the world beautiful. You are beautiful, and we see you next week. Peace.